Yeah. To get started, so yesterday, just to recap what happened yesterday and the session day before yesterday. So, like initially, we started on understanding the different set of roles and responsibilities of a software engineer, and then we had a discussion around how the internship and training program would be, and how are we going to work on the real-time projects, and what are the different timelines. So, all the discussion we had previously, and then we also had a discussion around what are the next steps, like once the internship program is done, uh, how the things are going to be like you will be getting a certificate once you complete the real-time project. And also, if you are planning to switch from one company to other company, if you wanted to have any mock support, if you wanted to have any mock interviews just to gain some confidence, and that mock interviews can be scheduled with us. And so we are discussing around different set of things now what could be possible after the internship training. And also we discussed about the timings and details, how long is it internship and training period is. So that sort of discussion we had it in the very first demo session. So if you have missed any of the demo sessions previously, I would highly recommend you to watch the demo session 1 and demo session 2, so that you will be up to the mark, like you don't miss out any things. And yesterday we were having discussion around uh, the different roles in software engineering. So what is the roles and responsibilities of a full stack engineer? What are the responsibilities of a front end engineer, and what is he accountable for? And we also had a discussion around what exactly are the roles and responsibilities of a backend engineer, and what does his daily job include. So these are all the things we were discussing yesterday. And also we tried to look around things, why Java is becoming this popular, and what are the different companies that were using Java since the initial days. And we also had a discussion around the current trend in the job market. So how the packages are ranging for different ages of experiences. And also we talked about the demand for a Java developer. So all that set of things has been covered in the last two demo sessions. And so keeping the whole things aside, from today onwards, we'll be starting with basic set of things, or the fundamentals for this particular training and internship and training program. So as we discussed yesterday, this particular internship program is primarily focused around the backend development, and wherein we would be learning Java first, and then going ahead, we would be spending time on the Java framework, which is Springboot. And then we would be doing some experimentation around one of the databases, which is MySQL. So all these set of discussions we had yesterday, and to get started with the technical things. And before we start discussing such things, let's try to set the agenda for today. So for today, let's try to understand some fundamentals, let's try to understand some fundamentals around Java. So let's try to understand what exactly is Java. And we'll also look a bit around uh, let's also try to understand a bit of history of Java. So how the Java has been evolved, and why this has become this popular. So uh, we'll have a discussion around this one. So 1 second, guys. It seems like people are not able to join the session. 1 second. So let's try to understand a bit of history of how who invented Java, like who developed Java, and how it has evolved over the ages. And then let's try to discuss around some of the popular applications which are built using Java. So applications built applications using Java. Let's like application development using Java. So let's try to have an overview around this thing, and then we can also discuss around the different set of uh, features available, features of Java. So we can have a discussion around this one, and then we can take any of the programming language, and then we can try to compare it with Java and see uh, how Java is powerful enough to solve anything. So to get started, so the first fundamental thing is like if you go by the Wikipedia definition, so when you go to Wikipedia and ask like what is Java, so the same thing it would show you is like Java is an object-oriented programming language. So that's all it states. And if you try to understand the definition a bit more in detail, so Java is not only a object-oriented programming language, so it is also the beyond. So one of the just to state what is Java. Uh, Java is basically an object-oriented programming language. So why do we call this an object-oriented program? Is like all these set of things will be coming ahead, but just to give some sort of overview. So whenever you try to build any application, there should be enough things to develop that application. What I mean by this is like whenever you try to build something, you always make sure that it is cost efficient, and also the performance is always very high. So in order to achieve those two things, you need to have any pattern, or there should be some practice. So that sort of pattern or practice is the foundation for this object-oriented programming. So that's all what exactly it is mean. And so if you go and see about object-oriented programming, there could be a lot of things. So when you say object-oriented programming, it could have classes, it can have objects, it can have all the different principles like abstraction, which means you will hide the data which is only necessary to the users. Like if you wanted to hide some particular data, if you have any confidential data, you try to hide the data so that no one can be able to access that one. So that is called as abstraction. And there is also another thing called as inheritance. So which means, so whenever you try to build any application, uh, if you are developing a feature, so the code might be duplicated, or you might be rewriting the code in different places. So in order to eliminate that one, you this inheritance concept is introduced into object-oriented programming, or OOPS. So wherein instead of rewriting the code, you just use the existing one. It's something like you have your grandparents and you have your parents, and you are the third generation. So whatever the qualities your grandfather has, your parents would be getting them, and whatever the qualities your parents has, you would be getting them. So it's something like that. So if there is something uh, existing already with some similarity, then you try to import that feature and you use it, so that you can reduce the code duplication and such things. So let's not get very in detail at this point of time. Let's try to take some time and understand the very fundamental concepts first, and then let's try to get into more detail about abstraction, inheritance, encapsulation, and polymorphism. So the entire object-oriented programming uh, revolves around these things: the classes, objects, and the four principles, which are abstraction, inheritance, encapsulation, and polymorphism. So the whole idea revolves around these things. Like let's try to take the things in a very minimalistic way. So let's try to identify what is necessary for this at this point of time, and then let's go by the ladder pattern. So wherein initially you step on the step which is at the 0th level, then you move ahead, you step it on to the step 2, step 3. Like you'll be climbing up the ladder as soon as we progress in the course. So this is what the object-oriented program is in a nutshell. So all these concepts would be coming in the later stages. So I don't want to put much content over here, and I don't want to use all the keywords and make you confused. So that is why I just gave you the very little glimpse about this one. And to look at the other thing, which is history of Java. So basically, there was a company called Sun Microsystems. So they are the one who developed the Java programming language. So there is a company called as Sun Microsystems. So this is an company. So this is a software company. Uh, so this company is responsible or laid the foundation for the development of Java. And one of the engineers from the software company, who is he is the father of Java programming language. So if you go to uh, Google, so if you can type like who father of Java, like there is a lot of history behind this Java programming language. So if you see like uh, James Gosling is the father of Java programming language. So he did not develop the programming language completely on himself, but he along with a few other engineers has developed this programming language. So James Gosling was one of the engineers who was working at the Sun Microsystems, and later on, this Sun Microsystems was acquired by a company called a popular company called as Oracle. So whatever the Sun Microsystems we have, this is acquired by a popular company called Oracle. So if you see any of the Java official documentations, everything would be from Java. So for example, if I go to Google and search for Java official documentation, so you could see the documentation is provided by Oracle. So if you see the domain, it's like oracle.com. So previously, all the entire programming language development was done at Sun Microsystems, and later on, the whole company was acquired by Oracle, and then Oracle started maintaining the Java programming language, and they started releasing different set of products to support the Java programming language. So this Java programming language was started like James Gosling and a few others had started developing this programming language around 1995. In the year 1995, they started developing this programming language, and sooner it got the public attention very much. So there are multiple reasons. So why it became very popular in those years, in the initial years. So the one of the most important feature, or one of the most important advantages which made Java very popular is like its simplicity to understand everything. So if we look at the advantages or features of Java, so Java is very simple to learn and understand. Simple to learn and understand. So the key thing is like you need to be good with syntaxes. Good with syntaxes. So in 1990s, there was the only programming language which was very popular. That was C programming language. So majority of the companies or majority of the programmers uh, were building the applications or writing the code using some of the very popular programming languages during those times, which are C, C++, or COBOL. So these are the programming languages which are very popular since 1980s. So these programming languages were developed by some other companies, and before Java came into the picture, they were playing the major role in the industry, IT industry. And then when Java was introduced in 1995, people started moving towards Java. The only reason being that it is very simple to learn and understand. So that is one of the main reason why people started moving on to Java programming language. And then not only with this one, there are a couple of other features which made the people impressed, and then they started moving on to this Java programming language. So if you look at a bit in detail about the other features in Java, are like object oriented programming, which we were discussing previously. So object oriented programming, so this is another feature. So this is another feature which is offered by Java programming language. So wherein previously, whatever the languages we have, so either it may be C programming language, or C++, or COBOL, or Pascal. So whatever the programming languages were available at those times in 1990s, they were all called as the 1980s. They were all called as the procedural languages, which means uh, they are the single statement languages. So which means uh, by using these programming languages, you cannot build any complex applications. So you can write something which is very, very basic level. And also it is also very difficult, though you build any complex applications, it is very difficult to maintain those applications using this programming these procedural languages. So that is the reason why Java has offered this feature called as object oriented programming. So in 1995, when they were building the Java programming language, so they thought like there should be some programming language which can eliminate this problem, wherein the problem is something like it is becoming bit difficult to maintain the applications. Difficulty in maintaining applications. So this was one of the major drawback, or one of the major disadvantages people felt with the procedural languages like C, C++, COBOL, and Pascal. So major drawback or disadvantage. And people were looking for an alternative, and that alternative is offered by Java. So they came up with this they came up with the concept called as object oriented programming concept. So wherein they try to simplify the development and also the maintenance of different applications at those times. And then people started uh, learning it because of its simplicity. And then they also had solved a lot of uh, things which were not addressed by the existing programming languages at that time. So this is the other feature. And also to impress the developers or the programmers, they introduced the other feature called as platform independent. So what exactly they have done with this feature is like uh, so generally you can see there are different set of uh, what do we call, we have the different set of operating systems in the market, right? So there are Linux operating systems, there are also Windows operating systems, and there are also Mac OS. So whatever the programming languages we have, all the procedural languages, C, C++, COBOL, Pascal. So whatever the programming languages we have previously, all these programming languages are platform dependent, which means if you write the C programming on Linux OS, then you should run the application there itself. So whatever the application you build on Linux, it is not compatible on Windows or Mac OS. So that is also one of the disadvantage with using of procedural languages. So let's try to list down disadvantages or drawbacks of procedural languages. So if you see previously, one of the disadvantage was difficulty in maintaining applications. The other difficulty was applications are platform dependent, which means, so if you develop any application, on any application using C or C++ or Java, you need to run that application on the same OS. You need to run the application on same OS using Java on, let's say, like Linux OS. Then you need to run it on the same OS. So you cannot run it on, you cannot go somewhere and you cannot run it on the Mac OS or else the Windows OS. You cannot run in Windows or the Mac OS. So this is also one of the major drawback, which the procedural languages are having. So that sort of platform dependency has also been eliminated by this Java programming language. So what Java came up with, with is, so you develop your application anywhere. So either it may be a Linux OS or Windows OS or Mac OS. You develop your application anywhere, and you can also, once you finish developing your application on one OS, then you can run it on any of the OS. There is no problem with that. So what Java has done is, like, you can develop application on any OS and run on any OS. So this is also one of the problems which Java has solved. So that is this is also one of the feature which made Java quite popular in the market during those times. And if you look at the other feature, which is the concept called as multi-threading. So what exactly is multi-threading? Is like doing the same thing, multiple people doing the same thing. So you might be hearing about uh, multiple core processor or else quad core, octa core processors in your mobile phones. So what exactly that means is, any task is done by 8 members when it is an octa core processor. So generally, let's say, like you are working on a task, and let's say if you work alone on that particular task, it would take let's say, like 10 days to finish the task. But whereas you take the help of your friend, one more person, and you both of you started working on that task, and both of you would be able to finish the task in 5 days. So here, initially you are alone, and later on your friend has added up, and you both started working on the same task. So that means both people working on the same task is called as threading, and multiple people working on the same task is called as multi-threading. So let's say, like, so what happens when multiple people start working on a single task is, like, it will be finished in very least amount of time. So let's go back to the same example where you are a single person working on one task, and it took 10 days for you, and you have added two or three more friends onto your task, and you three or four people started working on the same task, and then the task would be finished in like 3 to 5 days. So the more number of people works on the task, the time decreases. So that is called as the concept of multi-threading. That is called as multitasking, multiple people working on the same task. And in programming language perspective, it is something like if you have any application running and if you have any request coming from the user, so all the people or else the different set of people would be working on finishing the task. So this sort of feature is also offered by Java. So which means the end result would be something like to finish any task in minimalistic amount of time. So this feature is not offered by any other programming language before. So this feature is not offered by any programming language before. So this is also one of the major reason why Java has become very popular during the 1990s. So that was the very initial days when Java just started taking off, and then looking at the different set of features and also looking at the simplicity of this programming language, people started moving on to this programming language and they started building applications on top of this one. And if you look at the other feature, which is the performance. So when it comes to performance, nothing can beat Java. So what I mean by this is like Java has one of the powerful concepts, which is multi-threading. So here, multiple threads are working on to solve a single task. So that means whatever the task could be, there could be a lot of threads working on the simple task. So that is how the Java has implemented this feature. And when it comes to performance, any no other programming language can compete with Java in executing any task. So you might be having a lot of questions like some people say C programming language is faster, Python is faster. So at the programming language level, those languages could be the better one. But when it comes to the large scale applications or some applications which is having some billions of users, at that point of time, no programming language or no programming language can do as better as Java. So that is why majority of the applications like the banks or else any large scale applications like YouTube, Google, so everything is built using Java. So that is one of the reasons why people started adapting Java into their development. So like if you are attending for an interview and if someone asks you like what are the different advantages or what are the different set of features offered by Java, then you can speak about the whole things like simplicity to learn, object oriented features, platform independency, multi-threading, performance. So if you can explain everything in detail, majority of the interviewers would be convinced with your with your understanding on Java. So because whenever you go for any interview, the first thing the interviewers look for is like how much confident are you, how much depth do you have with the fundamentals. So if you can understand the fundamentals in very deeper or broader way, then learning the programming language or learning any framework on top of that programming language is never a big deal. So that is why people always suggest you to be very strong enough in the fundamentals itself. So how the programming language has evolved, what made them to develop this programming language, and what problems they have solved in developing this programming language. So this set of questions should be, you should have a very thorough understanding on these things. So these are all the different set of features available on Java. And if you look at the applications, so till now we were understanding about the history of Java and what are the different advantages or different features which are available on Java. And then let's try to see what are all the uh, commonly seen applications that are developed by using Java. So if we can see some of the real-time applications. So let's see. let's see a few examples of real-time applications built using Java. So like till now we are discussing on how much Java is powerful, all the set of features and the history of Java. So if you go to Google and search something like what are the count of devices using Java. So if you search something like this, so you could get some search result like, so Java is now running on 56 billion devices. So as of 22nd June 2022, there are 56 billion devices which are running on Java. So I think by this you can understand how powerful is Java, or how much demand this Java programming language is having in the market. So if you can also see count of devices using Python or any other programming language, it would not be as huge as Java programming language. Like you can search different questions and look the statistics or the metrics for each programming language, but in real time nothing can beat Java, and the demand for Java is increasing year on year. The reason being that there are multiple features that are very very impressive, that are being developed as a part of Java. So that is becoming the strength for this Java programming language to survive since the last 30 years. And if we see some real-time applications, so like normally we would be having a different set of applications. So the applications which you run on mobile are called as mobile applications, and the applications which you run on desktops or laptops are called as the desktop applications. So if you see any mobile applications, so let's say like some of the mostly commonly used applications like Phone Pay or Google Pay, or these are the some of the most popularly used applications. So basically the majority of the tech stack that is used in mobile development would be Java or Kotlin. So if you go to Google and search for something like uh, mobile apps, which programming language is used in mobile apps. So if you search for this some sort of answers, so you can see the example here, right? So Java is a programming language that has been used for mobile app development for years. So the reason being that it is object-oriented programming language that can be used for both Android and iOS apps. One of the main advantages of using Java is that it's easy to learn and has a huge community, large community of developers. So that is the reason why we are planning to learn Java, and on top of that, we are planning to learn the Spring Boot framework, which is an extension to Java. So if you see any major mobile applications, it could be uh, the financial applications like Phone Pay or Google Pay, or else any game applications like so any gaming applications like BGMI or Candy Crush or anything. All the applications would be majorly running on Java in the background. So like we are not going to discuss much in detail, but let me try to give you some flavor or add you some context around this, so that you can better understand the things. And we also commonly, like we would be having some of the commonly applications like VLC media player. So these are the examples for desktop applications, or else some antivirus, McAfee or antivirus. So all these applications are called as the desktop applications, or else they're also called as the standalone applications. So majority of the desktop applications and majority of the mobile applications would be using Java internally to run the applications. The reason being that there are multiple reasons, so I don't want to repeat them again. So that is how Java has been adapting since the years. So they started Java in 1995. from then, it's like 2005, 2015, and close to 2025. So it's been like almost 28 to 30 years, and people are still using this Java programming language. And if you take some examples like web applications, so these, when I say web applications, so what I exactly mean is like they run on the internet. They run on internet and available, accessible via browsers. So some of the examples could be something like an IRCTC website. So like this is also one of the most popularly used website. So IRCTC also basically runs on the Java programming language. And there are some other websites like google.com or any other search engines or any video streaming engines. Everything would be running on Java internally. So like I think you might have got an idea how big or how powerful is Java and its role in the actual development process. So this is how there are different set of applications that are built using Java. And before we close the session for today, uh, let me show you the roadmap on how do we proceed for the next steps. So starting from tomorrow, we would be starting with the very fundamental concepts in Java programming language. So the roadmap would be something like this. So from tomorrow, we would be discussing about discussion on development tools or code editors. So if we learn programming language, we should execute it and we should build some applications on top of that. So for that, we would be needing some code editors, or else we would be needing some development tools so that we can write some lines of code and run the application and see how it is working. So let's try to have an discussion around the tools and the code editors tomorrow as a first step. And then next, let's try to write a hello world program. Next, hello world program. So this is the starting program which we are going to start. And then let's then we will be learning on how to uh, declare the variables. So like we'll be taking each step at a time, and we'll be going one step at a time from the fundamentals to the very advanced level. So we'll we'll learn how to declare the variables and what are the, let's try to understand about data types in Java. And then we'll be discussing about conditionals like if else statements, if else, or switch cases and stuff like that. And then we'll be exploring about looping concepts, so for, while, and also do while. So we'll be exploring around these different set of programming looping concepts in the Java programming language. And then we would be getting into the core concept of Java programming language, which is object-oriented programming structures. And then we would be looking at exceptional handling. So how do you handle exceptions? Why do we need exceptions? And what are exceptions used for? So all those things would be like we would be programming in the live session here itself, and then we'll be seeing the outputs, and then we'll be practicing each of the concepts in detail. And then once this Java is done, then we will be moving on to the Springboot, which is an extension of this one, extension or framework based on Java. So then we will be understanding about the actual application development and how do we develop the APIs, developing APIs, and how to secure the code properly, storing, this comes under source code management, and deploying applications. So we'll be looking at all these different set of things in the coming days. So tomorrow, as a part of tomorrow's session, we'll try to discuss about the different development tools, and then let's do sort of installation tomorrow, and then get started with the programming classes. And yeah, so if you have any questions, please do put it on the chat, or else